Hey everybody, what's up? Jester here. Welcome back to Cabin. Now, first and foremost, I would like to welcome the newest member to the YouTube family. Thank you so very much for your membership. I definitely appreciate it. If you didn't know that I could have channel members, don't worry. Neither did I. But Wit, you've been a supporter of the channel for a very long time, and you have stepped up and joined the YouTube side of things. So I say thank you very much. I appreciate it. Now, last time we got this contraption started, go through and take that and rinse it. And actually, we're going to go ahead and do just that. But we got the basics set up to get at least a slow start into had unwelcome guest. As I was saying, we had a very slow start onto chapter 2. We've got the sand upwards through the growth crystal, and we have a preliminary setup to get all the way down to our electron tubes, right? Obviously, we gotta finish the process with the recipe sequence, get that up and running with a screwdriver. But before we can get a lot of that, and we can hand jam it, just let it run and cycle. I think I'm gonna spend a little bit of time and get the island kind of worked on. You can see I slowly started expanding the house because trust me, we're going to need the space. This will be the operations center, so to speak. But everything else, factory wise, is going to exist somewhere out on this island. We're going to build it both up and down. We're going to have right there where that diorite is, we have an elevator. It goes all the way down to the bottom and it comes all the way right back up. But I think for now, I'm going to build that side up, flatten it probably about where the platform is now, and go from there. After, of course, Certus Quartz is done. First bit of Certus is going through, and I screwed something up, apparently. Something extremely important that we need for it. Forgot the sand. There we go. It begins. Alright, slow start. Got the first platform in, which I'm good with. But what I'm noticing is we need to speed this up. We've got our first couple electron tubes. So we're going to take those. Ooh, wait a minute. Okay, that's new. That makes it even better, actually. Because what we can do these is we can handle the rotation, right? So first thing is first, we're going to need cobblestone. Lever. Remove that bottom one. Swap it out with one of these. Giving it a redstone signal speeds it up just a hair. And then here, what I want to do, move that. Now, obviously, this is, again, temporary, but we're speeding up the process. Alright, now as you can see, that's been even faster. Now, the way these adjustable gear shifts work, right? I'll probably go ahead and show you. When you have your basic rotation, your adjustable chains will run at one speed. Now, if your input side is given a redstone signal, it will double the output. And then subsequently, it can half the output if it's on the opposite end. Okay. I've only actually had to use that option once. And that was because I needed to slow down the rotation of drills for an iron farm. Reminds me. 301 ingots. Making progress. But yeah, usually you're going to find it wherever the rotation is coming into. That's going to be your adjustable chain gear shift. And that's what you want to speed up. Okay, here, the important thing here is to get the rotation going. Now it's waiting on more water. Oh, that's right. That's how I have these running. I'm going to see if I can make adjustments to speed this process up. Now, a little bit of trial and error later. I've got the pumps spinning much faster than the belt, which means it's going to fill them up quicker. But it's still not fast enough, as it's not keeping up with all of the water. The other alternative would be to throw another pump in the mix. Instead of going one pump for every 4, it's essentially one pump for every 3. But unless I missed one, because I may or may not have broken the belt, but we have now effectively about doubled what we need to. Now, we've got half of them ground up. And we're going to get that half started, and we'll wait for the other half. That way we can continue. So as I was trying to add, like, speed that up so I could throw a millstone in. Yeah, we have reached our stress limit. That's unfortunate. Now, another advantage of having the floor level up higher like this is as I build whatever structure it is I choose to build, I'm going to have room underneath to gain access for, like, quote-unquote maintenance purposes, you know? And I think I could even set up, like, a whole series of water wheels. Yeah, be mindful wearing diving boots. You don't operate so good in water. Now, something else you could do if you were so inclined, as I slowly work to put an area for water wheels, I could slow one of those down, because that speed is also impacting my ability to have added stress units. So by slowing them down, it increases the opportunity. But let's be realistic. The more speed, the better. Obviously, you don't know much about these water wheels and how they differ, especially when you compare them to, say, like their immersive engineering counterparts. You're not getting... Why are you not getting any stress units? You just have to get them spinning. All of you have 512. Except for you. Okay, so as it's coming down here, it was backpedaling, so I had to seal it off. Disaster averted. Now that should give us a good healthy dose of stress units that we could feed into this system. Now if we come down here, yeah. Now the fun aspect of that is, yes, they're spinning like they're cracked out because of the rotation here. It still maintains the stress units. So that's just over 4,000, close to 4,500 tacked onto that entire system. But you never notice it looking up here. All right, now what we can do is we can run that up. gets that spinning at a much higher rate of speed. Which means remove you, throw in a cog. Don't put you there. Put you there. Hopper goes on top. Not sure what it is, but I've been using barrels a lot more for my builds lately than chests. Let me know in the comment section. Do you prefer barrels or chests? Like, even when you have sophisticated storage, right? And you can upgrade to your heart's content, just however many you want or need, or... Do you find yourself using barrels or chests? Does it matter? Also, that missing one reared its head, so we got it back. Went ahead, grabbed a few items. That way we can set up at least the volatile sky solution process. Because we're going to need that. Along with another millstone. I think we'll put that back over here. Actually, let's grab a 2x2 drawer. I'm going to grab hopper there. The other millstone. Go on top. Millstone on top of that. What this will do is throw our sky stone in there, right? And that'll separate that adequately. While that's grinding away, let's run these lines, shall we? Horizontal gearbox. Drop a vertical right here. Let's push it back one. This way, we run this up. Where am I gonna... Ooh, this needs to be right there. Okay. Make a quick mess. There we go. Now, what that will do is I can run that mixer right there. Something tells me I need more down the line, so we'll leave it open for now. Basin. Now, first thing is first, we are going to need some water to make the volatile sky solution, so we're going to need a bucket of water, which, surprisingly, I have. And we're going to drop 8. That should give us 1 full bucket of volatile sky solution. Fantastic. We're going to need... How do we need the smart filter? Ooh. Let's go make a copper machine. 2 copper machines. We're going to turn one of them into a smart fluid pipe. You're going to go on there. Fancy bucket. Going to need to make a pump. Put you facing the right direction. Instead of putting you in the corner, I'm going to pull you around. And then the other one will go there. Janky, for the sake of being janky. But we can kind of hide it. So it doesn't look completely terrible. It still looks kind of bad, but now we still technically have access to that, so I'm not entirely hemming and hawing. There. Now, on to the other side. Oh, the jankiness of this is real. real janky. Could easily just done this with a lot of them. But for the time being, it works. Alright, that's set to the proper filter. Once we get the brass, like, we can run it back up round robin style. The brass casings. Alright, let's go ahead. Flip you. Fills you up with water. Dump all that in. Volatile sky solution is being sent in. Alright. Hopper, charger, and some power. For now, we can, well, like everything else, hand jam away. Okay, take you. Dump you in there. And it's going through reprocessing. 6. Because to get the destabilized redstone, so you've got Certus, right? With destabilized redstone equals polished rose quartz. When you take charged Certus in the volatile sky solution, it gives you quartz and destabilized redstone, which mix together. So we could legit pump in charged Certus and pull out polished rose quartz. A lot of this is going to be where those brass components come in. As well as moving the dust into the basin and then moving the skystone back into the hopper. How are you looking? You're at 50. Fantastic. And then when we get this, we squeeze on the molten iron at 10 mil buckets per, and we get us the electron tube. How is our molten iron, by the way? Or iron 360. It's doing rather well. For now, we'll drop 3 blocks in, let it get all cooked up. Alright, that's 50. Stack and a half. Now, once we have the electron tubes, 2 electron tube plus a screwdriver on the kinetic mechanism, will give us the sealed mechanism. Oh no, not that one. The precision mechanism. Now with that's where we get the brass machines, which is what we're going to need for the next tier. Alright, had to move that. Next thing, put those 5 in. I grab my belts. Grab 1, 2, and 3 deployers. Now, let's see here. We need rotational over to these belts. Horizontal gearbox. Because we haven't been dealing with belts too much, we haven't had to worry about the direction of the rotation. Now we will, but it's fine. Perfect. Now, how do I want to resolve this particular mishap? Get them all rotated in line, right? Throw that in. Horizontal gearbox. Overstress. Seriously? That? Well then. You mean to tell me you're not enough? All that we added So what I'm going to do is extend you out just a bit. Now, 2,000 more. Stress units have been added. Let's see if this will finally work. At least for now. None of it's connected up. What did I break? Alright, that's running. Fantastic. Dirt back in the wall. I'm going to put barrel. Barrel. Funnel. Funnel. I went ahead and grabbed some chutes instead of hoppers. Need 2 for that. What we're going to do is we've got these item hatches. And in these item hatches, that's a stack of andesite alloy, stack of andesite alloy, and I forgot my saw. So when you take 2 bits of andesite alloy, and a saw, and you throw in, maybe not. You know, it often helps if you use the correct slabs. Oak slabs, not oak board slabs. Anyhow, that's what I was saying. And 2 bits of andesite alloy plus your saw, and you throw in some slabs. And that's going to quickly create your kinetic mechanism. Instead of going through and having to do all that craziness, it runs just like that. Now we have 2 more of the andesite machines. Made 2 more hands. Here we go. Pair more of deployers. I'm going to go ahead and extend this belt. And then 1, 2, 3. The same rotation. Run the shaft from one end to the other. 1 iron trapdoor. Pair that with 1 andesite alloy. Gives you another item hatch. Nope. Wrong one. Take our screwdriver, put it in the very end. Now, I don't have more. Actually, I can make more. I can make more. And now that we have the makings of brass, we'll be able to start filtering things. Alright, went ahead and added a redstone signal to turn that off and on so we can control it in the event we want to just make center ones. Otherwise, we'll get to a point where we can continue them down the line. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. 16 rose quartz squeezed on with some molten iron. I'll go ahead and put your 8 there, 8 there, 8 there, and 8 there. I just need wood. Turn you into slabs. 8 slabs should suffice. There. 8 of you. Send them down the line the second time. And there is our first 8 precision mechanisms. There we go. Again, obviously this isn't completely, we'll call it flawless. There's still some manual work that has to be done. Not fully automated. But we mostly have a system, I'd say 75% automated. Still got a lot of cleaning you gotta do. and a structure will be built around this. What I think I'm going to end up doing is once we get enough for brass funnels, I will extend this out a couple to where it will completely force split half and half, to where we will always have half of these to go all the way around back and become the little seedlings, as it were. Probably using the brass pipes. And we are up to 2 stacks of sorta seed. Also, with the brass pipes, or with the brass machine, steam engines. We'll be able to get rid of these and replace them with a series of steam engines, which will be really, really nice. Blaze burners by default. We are going to need netherracks. We are going to need to get to the nether for that. Or we make some destabilized redstone, which is always an option. Now, the screwdriver, see, there is a durability to it. Same with the saw. What we'll end up doing is we'll go in gold saw, diamond saw with 5 gold coins. We'll give you the enchanted one, which is unbreakable, and they also have the same for the screwdriver. So you can put it in, let it go. The first thing we're gonna make, very first one, let's get our brass machine. Let's go. First thing we're making, brass funnels. Brass funnel in hand. And now set this up. Before, you have to rely on only putting them in sets of 32, right? Because it doubles, and you can only have 64 of the one. Now it is all the more better. And we can go through and make even more. I just need to make more. For simplicity's sake right now. Like usually put it on attribute filter, can be smelted. Whatever the case may be, right? But for the time being, pretty much a lot of what we're going to be cooking on here is going to be these algal bricks, just so we have enough of what we need to have. I'll drop 16 at a time, cook it, and then when it's done, it'll dump it in there. It'll go from there. Alright. Set that up to where it'll make us a whole bunch of the charged Certus. Just over a stack, because we're already up to almost, yeah, that's just about complete. Throw in 2 more stacks. I went ahead and turned that off because we don't have all that processed just yet. Two more stacks. Easy peasy. At this point, we're grabbing items in bulk, and we can process them that way. The thing this is waiting on is room. 32. I'm eager to see how long this will process for. It'll just keep going. Alright, let's pull that out so we can do our basic setup. And that'll just run. So yeah. This is cruising. We're now in the brass age, and we can start filtering things. I would say it's smooth sailing from here. Just means we get a lot more work to do. But we're going to be able to automate things a whole lot better. And we'll be able to do so much more. We'll get that elevator going up and down so we can get access to more of our andesite, things of that nature. Because we're going to need tons of andesite to process into this. I hope you've been enjoying the series. I am a huge nerd when it comes to create. I'm not as skilled as some, but I enjoy it oh so much. I can get lost and wrapped up in it, which is actually what makes this series so challenging for me, because I'll just sit here and I'll get started like, nope, nerd, turn your ass around. You got videos to make. Anyhow, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Take care. I'll see you next time.